Have you ever stood in the middle of your life and felt like you don't belong anywhere? Like the world is moving around you fast, full of purpose, but inside you, everything feels still and empty. You scroll past smiles, laughter, success stories, and you wonder, why not me? You pray, but it feels like no one is listening. You cry, but the world doesn't pause. You try to hold it together, but inside you're falling apart. No one sees the storm in your chest. No one notices the ache behind your "I'm fine." You're not lazy, you're not ungrateful. You're just tired, so tired. Of being strong for everyone, of pretending, of waiting for something to finally go right. And in that emotional desert, that quiet, lonely place where you feel like no one understands you, that's where this story begins. Not your story, not mine, but the story of someone chosen by Allah, someone who, before he ever became a prophet, walked into his own heartbreak. We often remember Musa as the man who split the sea, the one who stood tall in front of Pharaoh, the one who spoke to Allah on the mountain, but before all of that, he was a man running for his life with nothing. No plan, no home, no food, no one to call family, just fear in his heart and sand under his feet. Have you ever felt like that? Running from pain, trying to survive, not knowing what's next, only that you can't stay where you were. That's where Musa was, and that's exactly where some of us are. We didn't choose the heartbreak. We didn't choose the betrayal. We didn't choose to lose what we loved, but here we are, in the middle of a desert, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, just breathing, just walking, just trying to stay alive. And if that's you, if you feel like you've got nothing left, then I want you to stay with me for the next few minutes, because in this desert, something happens. Something small, something quiet, but something so powerful that it changed a life. And maybe, just maybe, it can change yours too. It begins with the most broken version of Musa, sitting under a tree with no one beside him, and whispering a dua that would echo through the centuries. Not a fancy dua, not a loud one, just a whisper from a shattered soul. Rabbi, inni lima anzalta ilayya min khayrin faqeer. My Lord, I am in desperate need of whatever good you send my way. That's it. No long list of requests, no big speech, just one line, and that one line was enough. Because when a heart breaks for the sake of Allah, Allah listens, and when a dua comes from rock bottom, Allah lifts it to the sky. This is what healing begins with, one honest moment, one whispered dua, one human, finally saying, "Oh ya Allah, I can't do this without you anymore." Are you ready to go deeper? Because now we step into the pain before the dua, Musa, and the longest walk of his life. Before the whisper under the tree. Before the silent dua that changed his life. There was pain, deep pain. Let's go back to the moment Musa, was still in Egypt. He was living inside the palace of Pharaoh, but his heart didn't belong there. He knew he wasn't one of them. He was from Bani Israel, a people enslaved, tortured, humiliated. And even though he was raised with wealth, he carried the weight of watching his people suffer. One day he saw one of his own, an Israelite, being attacked. He stepped in, tried to help. But in the struggle, he accidentally killed a man. He didn't mean to. It wasn't his intention. But the damage was done. And when the news spread, the people he lived with, the palace he called home, turned on him. He became the enemy, a criminal, a fugitive. Imagine the weight of that moment. You try to help and end up being hunted. You give your heart and end up alone. So he ran, out of fear, out of regret, out of confusion. And this wasn't a casual walk. This was exile. He didn't stop to pack his things. He didn't grab food. He didn't even say goodbye. He just left, with nothing but his pain and the clothes on his back. And he walked, for miles and miles, through dry, hot, empty desert land. No guide, no shelter. No one to lean on. He didn't even know where he was going, but he walked anyway. Because when Allah takes something from you, He's not abandoning you. He's redirecting you. But that redirection, it can be so painful. Maybe you know this walk too. Not across sand and heat, but across days filled with unanswered questions, nights filled with silent sobs into your pillow. Maybe you're walking through your own version of that desert. You thought your life was stable, and suddenly it fell apart. You tried to help someone, and they turned their back on you. You lost your sense of belonging. And now you're just walking. No plan, no support, just pain. That's where Musa A.S. was. Tired, hungry, mentally drained. Heart pounding from fear. Feet blistered from heat. No idea what tomorrow would bring. But he kept walking. Until finally, he arrived at a place called Madian, a foreign land, with foreign people. No one knew his name. No one cared about his story. He didn't collapse in the middle of the street. He didn't beg anyone for help. He found a tree, sat under it, and breathed, not because everything was okay, but because he had no strength left to do anything else. And even in that state, broken, homeless, nameless, he noticed something. 2 women, standing by a well, struggling to water their animals. He didn't know them. He didn't expect anything in return, but his heart was still alive. Still pure, still gentle. So he got up, helped them, and returned to his spot under the tree. No introductions, no expectations, just kindness, in the middle of his own storm. And that's when he turned his heart to Allah and whispered that one quiet, powerful line, inni lima anzalta ilayya min khayrin faqeer. My Lord, I am in desperate need of whatever good you send my way. No list, no demands, just raw need. Let that sink in. He didn't ask for a palace. He didn't say, I want a wife or give me a job. He didn't say, fix my past or make Pharaoh disappear. He just said, Ya Allah, I am faqeer, I am in need. Whatever good you send, I'll take it. That moment, that one moment, is when the healing began, because when you admit to Allah that you are nothing without Him, He shows you that He is everything, and what happens next is more beautiful than we could ever imagine. Now, let's enter the silent dua that reached the throne of Allah. One line, just one honest, exhausted, whispered line. Rabbi, inni lima anzalta ilayya min khayrin faqeer. My Lord, I am in desperate need of any good you send my way. And that one line, spoken by a man with blistered feet, an empty stomach, a broken past, and an uncertain future, reached the throne of Allah. No eloquence, no fancy words, no poetic phrases, just truth, just vulnerability, just need. You know what this moment teaches us? You don't have to have the perfect words for Allah to hear you. You don't need to memorize long duas. You don't need to wait for Ramadan. You don't need to be in wudu. You don't need to be in a masjid. You just need to be real, because Allah doesn't listen to the length of your dua. He listens to the depth of your heart. And Musa, A.S., he had nothing left to give except his brokenness. But Allah doesn't reject broken hearts. He honors them. And so, in the unseen, things began to move. At that exact moment, one of the 2 girls he had helped came walking back to him. She said shyly, My father wants to meet you, so he can reward you for helping us. Just like that. From stranger to honored guest. From sitting alone under a tree, to being invited into a home. From being a hunted fugitive, to being protected by a righteous man. And when he arrived, the girl's father, known as Shuaib, A.S., didn't interrogate him. He didn't shame him for his past. He didn't humiliate him. He listened. He respected him. He saw the good in him, even when Musa A.S. felt worthless. And then he offered something that would change Musa's life forever. A job, a home, and later, a wife. From homeless to housed, from alone to loved, from rejected to chosen, all because of one silent, sincere dua. Now pause with me here, because this is where your story might echo his. You might feel like you're in your under-the-tree moment right now, tired, isolated, not knowing what comes next. But Allah does. That heartbreak, He sees it. That silent tear you cried last night while pretending you were okay, He saw it. The moments you kept walking when all you wanted to do was collapse, He counted every single step. And all He wants from you is what Musa R.S. gave him. Not perfection, not power, just honesty. Ya Allah, I am faqeer, I'm in need. I'm not okay. I need you. That's the dua that shifts your destiny. That's the dua that turns empty hands into blessed ones. That brings people into your life who remind you of your worth. That opens doors you didn't even knock on. Because Allah isn't waiting for you to impress Him. He's waiting for you to turn to Him. And when you do, everything changes. But it doesn't just change in the material world. It changes deep inside your soul too. The healing begins before the help arrives. Sometimes we think Allah helps us only when our situation changes, when the money arrives, when the sickness is cured, when the pain disappears, when the people who hurt us finally apologize. But what if I told you? The healing begins before any of that happens, before Musa A.S. had a home, before he was given a job, before he was married, before he was recognized as a prophet. He was already healing, right there under the tree. Right after that one quiet dua. Why? Because the moment he turned his pain into a conversation with Allah, the burden began to lift. He was no longer just a fugitive in the desert. He became a soul in sujud without even needing to pray. That's the beauty of Rabbi, inni lima anzalta, ilayya min khayrin faqeer. It's not just a request. It's a release, a spiritual sigh, a sacred collapse, a heart saying, I can't carry this anymore, Ya Allah, please. You take it. And when you do that, when you really let go, something shifts inside you. You begin to breathe differently. You stop fighting life and start flowing with Allah's plan. You stop chasing people for validation and start craving solitude with your Lord. You stop asking why, and you start trusting who. Pause. Here, this is the true healing. It's not about everything being fixed around you. It's about the storm becoming silent within you. Before Allah gave Musa, Isis, anything, He gave him something we rarely notice. Peace, no more panic, no more running, just surrender. That's what made him strong enough to accept what came next. Because let's be honest, what good is a house if your heart is still haunted? What good is success if your soul is still screaming? Allah's way is different. He heals the soul first. So, when the help arrives, you're actually ready to receive it. Some of you watching this right now, you're still waiting for things to change. You're saying, Ya Allah, when will I get married? When will I finally feel loved? When will my health improve? When will I stop hurting? But maybe, just maybe, Allah is already healing you in the silence, in the waiting, in that one deep breath you took this morning when you almost gave up, but didn't. Because healing doesn't always look like smiling. Sometimes it looks like sujud soaked in tears. Sometimes it looks like sitting alone in your room, whispering a broken dua. Sometimes it looks like nothing at all, but your heart is lighter. Broken to chosen, when Allah turns your pain into purpose. 10 years have passed. Prophet Musa A.S. is no longer the man who ran from Egypt in fear. He's no longer exhausted, barefoot in the desert, whispering a desperate dua under a tree. He's stronger now, wiser, quieter inside, more connected to Allah than ever before. Because healing did its work. And when the heart is ready, Allah calls. So one day, while traveling with his family, Musa A.S. sees a fire on the side of a mountain. He turns to his family and says, Stay here. I see a fire. Perhaps I can bring you some guidance or warmth from it. But what he didn't know was that fire wasn't just a light to warm the body. It was a light that would change the world. Because in that moment on Mount Sinai, Allah spoke to him, directly, clearly, lovingly. O Musa, I have chosen you, so listen to what is revealed to you. Surah Brokenness. The same man who once cried out, Ya Allah, I'm in need, was now being told, I chose you. Pause here with me. Let this sink in. The same heart that once felt worthless, the same soul that once sat under a tree with nothing, is now standing on sacred ground, receiving divine guidance from Allah Himself. Do you see it? The pain you went through? It wasn't the end of you, it was preparing you. Every lonely night, every silent tear, every moment of confusion, it was leading you here. Because when Allah loves someone deeply, He doesn't just rescue them, He transforms them. He doesn't waste your pain, He turns it into your purpose. Musa A.S. didn't just recover from heartbreak. He was chosen to lead his people, to challenge tyranny, to speak to Pharaoh himself, to split the sea, to be remembered forever. And that journey started with a silent dua. Maybe you think you're too broken to be chosen. Maybe you think what you've been through disqualifies you from doing something great. But I'm here to tell you this. You are not broken beyond repair. You are being rebuilt by the most merciful. And just like Musa A.S., you may not feel ready. You may feel weak. You may still carry doubts. But Allah doesn't choose you because you're perfect. He chooses you because you're sincere. Because you turned to Him when no one else saw you. Because you whispered to Him when your voice couldn't carry. Because even with your trembling heart, you still said, Ya Allah, I need you. And that is enough. Talk with Allah. When you're too tired to talk, you don't need perfect words. You don't need to cry loudly. You don't even need to know what to say. Just sit, breathe, and whisper with your heart, Ya Allah, I'm tired, I'm lost. I don't know what to ask for, but I know I need you. That's enough, because Allah doesn't wait for fancy du'as. He waits for real ones, and He already knows the pain behind your silence. So the next time your heart breaks in a quiet room, talk to Him, even if it's just one line, even if it's just tears, even if it's just, Ya Allah, please. That's how you start. That's how you heal. That's how you come back. If you watch this till the end, I just want to say thank you. I know this was long. I know it was heavy, but I hope you didn't just watch this. I hope you felt it. I hope somewhere in this story you saw yourself, and I pray with all my heart that just like Prophet Musa, your silent dua becomes the turning point of your life. Don't give up. Don't stop making dua. And never think Allah forgot you. He sees you. He hears you. And He's already planning your relief. Ya Allah, this heart is yours. Take care of it. Ameen. Fun fact, the dua, Rabbi, inni lima anzalta ilayya min khayrin faqeer, and damfran liwas, was made before Prophet Musa, became a prophet, before he received any revelation. And yet, Allah still answered it immediately. This shows that you don't need a title, a position, or a perfect record for Allah to listen. You just need a sincere heart. Stay connected with Allah.